Cool. We're rolling. Avery, thanks for
Hi.
being here.
Thanks for having me.
What can you tell me about yourself, about Showdown? And you've got a couple different things going on, but we can start with you and Showdown and go from there.
Yeah, so my grandpa owned and operated Showdown. It's the oldest continually operating ski area in Montana for 47 years. I went to Carroll College and got a degree in history and political science. Never, ever saw myself as a business owner. Was raised by grandparents who had businesses and always, it was always going on in the background, but never pictured myself as a business owner. Graduated in December of 2012 and got a degree in history and political science, and then also got a teaching certificate, and didn't want to look for a teaching job in the middle of the winter. So went to work at my grandpa's ski area for what I thought would be one winter. And that's 14 years ago. I'm now vice president, marketing director, and a co-owner of the ski area.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, what can you tell me and anyone about Showdown who's never been there?
So Showdown is located about 30 miles north of White Sulphur Springs and 65 miles southeast of Great Falls. So for a long time, and it continues to be, Great Falls is our biggest market. We're family owned and operated, as I've mentioned, and just a really family friendly atmosphere. We tend to get really good snow. We're in a pretty sweet spot where we get storms out of the south and the north. They usually, if we get lucky, we get both of them. So we have 100% all natural snow. We haven't had to add snowmaking yet, but that might be in our future. But great snow, great skiing, great family atmosphere, and it's home.
Tell me about the tell me about the mountain. How many lifts? How many runs?
Yeah, we have 3 chairlifts and 1 conveyor. I think we have 36 runs, and it's a really nice division between beginner, intermediate, and advanced runs.
How about for skiers or snowboarders? Does it favor one more than the other?
I'm a skier and have been my whole life, but my brother snowboards, and we have a great mix of skiers and snowboarders at Showdown.
Okay. And tell me about proximity from Bozeman. Not that that
Yeah,
necessarily matters, but that's where we are now, and
Yeah,
that's
no,
that's where a lot of
I
people
think
fly
it's about
into.
an hour. It's almost 2 hours,
Okay.
from Bozeman to get up to Showdown. And most people come to you go through White Sulphur Springs, so a lot of our guests will stay in White Sulphur. My husband, my mom, and I purchased the ski area for my grandpa in 2020. And then in 2022, we bought what was originally a Super 8 and then called an All Seasons in White Sulphur Springs. And we've now turned it into the Edith Hotel. So we have a hotel in White Sulphur Springs. There's also the hot springs. There's awesome restaurants. White Sulphur has really become a really fun little ski town. And yeah, so people stay in White Sulphur, soak in the hot springs, and come up and ski.
Do you guys get a lot of, a lot of people traveling from out of town? Do you guys like primarily try to pull that market from locals in Great Falls, or is it all the
Yeah,
above?
so when I started as marketing director, almost 100% of my focus was in Great Falls, and that was our ski town. And then COVID hit, and things really changed for a lot of people. And after COVID, when some mountains started implementing some, you have to help me think of it, restrictions, like, what am I trying to say? When some mountains started implementing reservation systems, which they
Okay.
had to do during COVID,
Yeah.
then we saw new guests coming from Bozeman and Helena. And then also with, the influx of people in Bozeman, people were kind of looking for that experience of what ski areas used to feel like. And so you have to drive for a lot of people in Bozeman. You have to drive past Bridger Bowl to come to Showdown. And we really appreciate everybody from Bozeman and their business.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because there's almost like a lot of locals or people that go to Bridger almost don't want more people finding out about their ski
Yeah.
area and this just is kind of obvious if it almost goes without saying. As a business owner, you obviously need people to come there so you guys can
Yep.
stay in business.
Yeah.
So do you find that like a tricky place to be where you want more people to come and then you don't like it's a I don't know, it's like
Yeah.
the Montana conversation that
We
never
we talk
ends.
about this all the time on how to grow and then how to stay authentic to our true selves and keep Showdown feeling like home. keep it feeling like a really family-friendly, safe place for families to come enjoy winter, and, I always say winters in Montana, you need to ski. You need something to look forward to, you need that community, you need to get outside, and so we just really focus on staying affordable for, our primary guest is from Central Montana. They're out there skiing in Carhartts and jeans, and we don't ever want that to change. So how do we balance that with the influx of skiers from Bridger Bowl and Big Sky and all over?
So if somebody's coming to Showdown to ski and they're from out of town or they come far, is that White Sulphur's location that's the best one as far as proximity as a place to stay?
Yeah, for places to stay, Nyhart has a bar with a motel called Bob's Bar, and Monarch has a bar with a motel also, and then White Sulphur just has a little bit bigger lodging options. But then also with the rise of Airbnb and VRBO, there's a lot of places to stay in the canyon and up the up to the mountain.
Before we keep rolling with today's episodes, I want to tell you about someone who changed how we show up as a business. When clients land on our website, we hear the same thing over and over. It just feels right. Amy of Unbridled Form asked us questions we'd never thought to ask ourselves, helped us figure out the deeper identity underneath our services, and translated that into a brand world we're genuinely proud of. Our ongoing partnership is easily one of the best investments we've made. Learn more at unbridledform.com. Now back to the show. I'm trying to think because I guess that is that route when you go past Bridger through Bridger Canyon to White Sulphur
Yep.
because my sister is in Big Sandy, Montana.
Oh, okay.
So we'll go right
Yeah.
by Showdown on that drive.
Yep.
And then where would people fly? Like if people were flying in to go there and they didn't fly into Bozeman, like what other airports would they?
People fly into Great Falls quite
Okay.
a bit.
And
Yeah.
that
And
makes
that's
the
an
most.
hour.
Yeah.
That's a lot closer than Bozeman, but some people do stay in Great Falls and stay at hotels there. There's obviously a lot of lodging options in Great Falls, but a lot of them will opt for that kind of more mountain experience, smaller town in White Sulphur Springs.
I was just at Montana Festival this past
Oh,
weekend.
awesome.
The mayor of Great Falls was there.
Oh,
Do you
cool.
know who he is or no?
What's his name?
I can't tell you off the top of my head, but he was a younger guy and like he had great energy.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Who is it?
I'll look him up at some
Okay.
point if I can. But my fiance said to me, "Are we moving to Great Falls?" Because
I love Great
he
Falls.
just had uh a great energy about him, and it was
Yeah.
cool.
No, I grew up in Great Falls, and it's home to me, and it's where most of our guests still come from. And kids in our ski league, they're starting to come from Helena and Bozeman now and then, but for the most part, our skier comes from Great Falls, and I think it's a great little community.
So what else can you tell me about Showdown as far as accommodations? Do people can get lunch there when they come there? What time do you guys open? What time do you
Yeah,
guys close?
so over Christmas, we are open a longer stretch where we're open every day. I don't know the exact dates for the upcoming season, but then in our regular season, we're only open 5 days a week, plus those Monday holidays of like Martin Luther King Jr. Day and President's Day. But so we're open Wednesday through Sunday. Lifts operate 9:30 to 4. We have a kitchen that serves breakfast and lunch and then afternoon snacks. We have a rental shop. We have a snow school. We have a swag shop with all the merch. And then we have a pro shop in the basement with, the more technical gear and stuff.
Okay. Any tips you have like on anyone to if anyone's planning their day to come to Showdown, like just to make it a better day from beginning to end?
I think just know I don't think it's a problem because I think if anybody has found us through, our social media channels or my social media channel, we're pretty we are who we are, and you're not getting a fancy resort experience. We're a family owned ski area, and most people who come expect something like that. And they, sometimes our lines in the kitchen are longer, or we run out of seats on a busy Saturday, but people are really happy to work with us, and they know what they're getting into when they come, and they're not coming to a fancy place, and they know that and love it, and that's what we're about.
Yeah, I mean that can be very refreshing
Yeah.
when you go to like there's some great ski resorts and they have all kinds of accommodations, but sometimes it's you lose that sort of personal experience.
Yeah,
because
I'm
you're another number on a ski lift.
I mean, people love to come to me all the time expecting me to bash Big Sky, and you're not gonna find that from me because I think Big Sky is like the Disneyland of ski areas in our backyard and is an incredible ski resort, and I love to go there on my days off when I get to go ski and play, but we're not Big Sky, and I think people know that, and we just are who we are, and
Yeah.
it's attracted what we do and what we put out into the world has attracted the right person that appreciates that.
Yeah, good on you for
Yeah.
for owning it.
Yeah.
So what time, as far as in the winter season, when do you open for, like, or what do you shoot for first week open or first weekend
Yeah,
open?
we tried to open that 1st or 2nd week in December. We found over the years that people are way more excited to come skiing early on in the fall than they are to stay skiing late into April, so we try to open early if we can, and then, mostly it's just season pass holders in April if we stay open late.
How long did you guys stay open to for the 26th spring?
We made it till April 12th this year, which was our projected closing date, and I really can't complain this year. I know a lot of ski areas had a really tough go, and we were really lucky to have 100% of our mountain open until 2 or 3 weeks before we closed.
Wow.
So, we got hit with both storms out of the north and south, just lucky enough, and then I have to give a huge shout out to our mountain team. Our mountain manager has been at Showdown for 50 years,
Oh, wow.
and so he knows when we get snow, what kind of snow it is, how to preserve it, where we need it stored to keep trails accessible and open, and he's just a huge part of our success. The whole maintenance team is a huge part of our success.
Yeah, that's 50 years is
It's a
impressive.
long time. He's amazing.
When you guys have your first opening, do you open on a weekend or do you open on that Wednesday?
We open on a Friday just
Okay.
to give us one little soft opening day, hopefully, and then hopefully the crowds come on Saturday.
Yeah, that makes sense. So there's season passes. Is there ever, like, any time we have to cap it as far as people or anything? Or
We haven't got there yet.
Mhm.
And if there comes a time, we'll just take it one step at a time when we get there.
If you got to a point where capacity did get really high, would you guys consider opening those days that you're closed right now?
Yeah, we're definitely thinking about it. And, in the last couple years, I've started really sharing a different side through my personal brand. And we've had incredible reach because of that. And like we talked about marketing a little bit earlier, but I had only marketed to a drive market in state. And I started sharing videos I shared for 2 full seasons. And the first season I started sharing online, I had like 12 million impressions, and we had our best skier visit year on record. We had people flying in to come to Showdown from all over the country, which we've never seen before. And the thing I loved about it is it was attracting people who were really grateful for an affordable ski experience. These 2 brothers came from Arkansas, which just blew our mind that they came in the middle of Montana to Showdown. We're not a big destination. Our marketing isn't all over the place. And these 2 brothers came, and I was so excited they were excited to meet me. And I said, "Oh, are you staying in hotels and going out to dinner?" And they said, "No, like this is a really expensive trip for us. We rented a Airbnb and we bought food at the grocery store and we're just so grateful to be here." And then silly me, I'm like, "Well, can I buy you a lift ticket?" And they're like, "No, we're here to support you. Like, we love your mission, we love what you're about, and we're just excited to be a part of it." So it's attracting people who get what we're about. They just want to come experience skiing, and I'm really, really happy about the guests that it's brought to Showdown.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's a big draw that Montana has, and something people kind of seek is that nostalgia of a simpler version of
Yeah,
life and an
that's
experience
us.
where it's not just it's accessible and it's not, there's something so refreshing about that.
Yeah.
I think are you local here in Bozeman?
I live in the off season, I live in Cardwell on my
Okay.
husband's family's ranch about 50 minutes outside of town.
Okay. There there's a place on the other side of boat. I guess it's pretty close to the university. It's called Kagi Corner. It's a gas
Okay.
station, and they serve Wilcoxon's ice cream. I don't even know if I should say this, but whatever. You can get like 2 scoops of ice cream for $3, which is a
That's
great deal.
amazing.
And this gas station, it's a little bit of a gas station, general
Convenience
store. Yeah,
store.
they do some breakfast and lunch options, but it has that nostalgic feel to it.
Yeah.
I grew up in a very small town, and some people might walk in and be like, "Well, like, what would you like about this place?" But it's,
Feels like home.
yeah, there's just something to it
Yeah.
that I could see why it's appealing, and I'm assuming, like, that's what this ski resort feels like in a lot of
Yeah.
senses too.
I think so, and I think, we tried for a season to do the RFID tickets, and now we don't even sell tickets online. We'll see at the ticket window, and sometimes it'll be me there on a Saturday selling tickets. We tried these systems and, data they say data is king, and so I'm sure we're missing out and we should circle back to RFID, but for now, it's working. Our skier visit numbers are increasing. Guests are happy when they come, and so we're just gonna ride out the paper tickets for a while.
So did you say this was your busiest year to date this
No,
past year?
2 years ago,
Okay.
when we had better snow, was
Yeah.
our busiest. We had, I think, 74,000 skier visits, which was our record year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then we had another very good year this year, even with the low snow.
How does pricing work? Does it change on weekends and holidays? Is it the
No,
same? Okay.
same. We're not that fancy yet. We do have $35 lift tickets on Thursdays.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you can, like, get from what I understand, very reasonable season passes too.
Yeah, we have a March 1st special. It was, I think, 350 this year, good for the rest of March and all of the following season. And, that sorry, that spring sale is just so important to our business because it helps us keep some funds to keep people working during the summer and do our summer projects and then do it again next year.
What are you guys up to there in the summer?
This summer, we pretty much shutter down in May and June, and then we'll ramp back up in July and August and September and just do this summer. We don't have much going on. We have a couple weddings, we have a race up at the mountain, and then just our usual maintenance and upkeep projects.
Yeah, even, with in Big Sky, as busy as they are, as much as they have going on, and we work with them a lot because we drive a lot of people
Oh, yeah, I'm
that fly
sure.
in from Bozeman to Big Sky, but they're always trying to innovate and figure out different ways to be busy in the summer.
Yeah.
And it's a different world, and I've experienced it myself, and I'm sure you have for the last how many years did you say your family's owned it?
Well, my grandpa for 47 years, and
Yeah.
then we've had it for 6 now.
Navigating a seasonal business,
It's really hard.
emotionally, financially,
Mhm.
and however else,
Yep.
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Be-
Yeah. We only have, real revenue coming in 4 months of the season.
Yeah.
Purchasing the Edith, what is now the Edith Hotel in White Sulphur Springs, was definitely a move to try to keep some year-round revenue coming in.
Yep.
I think a lot of people think, "Oh, you were just given a ski area from your grandpa, like, how lucky is that?" And it's
Yeah.
like, first of all, we did buy the ski area from my grandpa. Second of all, I don't think opportunity guarantees success. Since buying the ski area, we've had the worst snow year on record and one of the best. And I think a lot of Montana business owners know what it's like to be dependent on the weather, which we 100% are, much like farmers, ranchers, people in tourism. Your business, in some
Yeah.
respect, is dependent on the weather. And you have to be able to pivot. You have to be able to pivot pretty fast and be creative. And we've always talked about summer revenue. And this year, things just weren't looking as great as they were the year before. So we just decided to really bear down this summer
Yep.
and lay people off in May and June and then really hope they come back. And because we really value our team members, but it's hard. We can't offer them all,
Yeah.
full-time year-round work
And
this year.
I've had to learn that, and it's very hard because that employing people seasonally, like, yeah, people need a paycheck
Yeah.
year round, and I've had to learn that lesson, man. Sometimes I'm trying to offer something that the industry doesn't offer, and
Mhm.
how can I innovate? Have you had anyone approach you guys with, like, different ideas or ways to make it create more revenue in the summertime?
Y we've I think we've talked about almost everything. I would be surprised. We've talked about biking, conference centers, weddings. We've had summers where we've ramped up our wedding business, and it's just I think it's a little bit tricky because people expect us to be this affordable ski area, which is what we talk about for skiing. But then when it comes to opening our doors for weddings in the summer, our bottom line to even open the door has to be so high that it doesn't quite match
Yeah.
what people expect Showdown to have. And so weddings are really expensive for us to host, so we really just kind of cut back on those for this summer. And then we have a couple projects in the works maybe for next summer that'll ramp up some summer business.
Yeah, I think I'm, like, finding myself trying to think about it right now, but
Yeah.
because I've thought it with my own business, and there's some people that they will run this, this car service or this transportation for the season, and then take all the vehicles off the road and take the insurance off,
Yeah.
and you still have to pay for the vehicles.
Right.
And, like, just like you have to pay taxes
Car
on that.
payments,
Yeah,
yeah, those still happen.
there's maintenance on any property just to
Mhm.
maintain it year round. It's not
Totally.
like you can just let that place
No.
go to ruins for 8 months and
No.
then open it back up.
Yeah, and there's maintenance that has to be done on the chairlifts and runs and everything, so
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was curious if anyone does bike. I know Big Sky does biking, where you can
yeah,
take bikes up the lift, but it is sort of that, is it worth opening the doors and starting everything up? What's the volume?
yeah,
Um,
and due to some codes and our chairlifts, we would have to get new chairlifts to be able or new carriers to be able to do biking or scenic rides, and then also there's a Forest Service road that's open to the top of Showdown, and so we love to see people up recreating up on the mountain. You can drive to the top from, I think, Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Hi, folks. Quick note from me. If you don't already know, the goal of Mountain Mule is to build real connection between Montana's businesses and the people they serve. If this episode or any other has given you something worth thinking about, smiling at, passing along, I've got a small ask. Share it with a friend, text it to someone, consider following the show. Whether you're using our services directly or following and sharing the show, those simple actions help support this business as well as the businesses and guests that have been a part of the show. Thank you for supporting these Montana businesses, local jobs, and this beautiful state. Now back to the show.
One great thing we've done with our employees is, there's a sprinkler business in White Sulphur, and we're really good friends with the guy who runs it. And so we trade employees, and we found some that work really good with him. And so he hires them in the summer with the intent that they'll come back to Showdown in the winter. So kind of that employee, keeping them close, keeping them in the area, keeping them working has worked really well for us as far as employees go.
Yeah, that makes sense. If you could partner with people and
Yeah.
be able to offer something that's somewhat stable.
Yeah.
I feel like I should be getting a kickback or something because I've mentioned this book so much. There's a financial book called Profit First,
Oh, yeah.
and I've found that to be so valuable for my business
Yeah.
because I look at it in a 12-month, um, I just
The
look at
big
it for,
picture.
yeah, the big picture is the 12
Yeah.
months, and the way just the way it's in the most simplistic form is you're always putting X amount of revenue in these buckets.
Mhm.
And to do that, like, it's almost imperative that you do that because it can be very misleading when you're
Right.
so busy, and then that's got to run for the next 8 months.
Right.
So
That's very true.
anyway,
I've started that book, I haven't finished it, but it is a
I've
great book.
I've only listened to the audiobook,
That's
but
what
like
I
four
yeah.
times. So but it's very
I'll
like,
have to finish it.
yeah, it's very, I've given it to friends and I
That's
recommend it.
awesome.
So yeah, it's just a big thing, that the seasonality. Anything else anyone should know about the show or about Showdown? Because I wanted to ask, do people, legally, can they camp there like during ski season?
Yeah, we allow camping in our parking lot. It's our
Okay.
decision due to our lease, and we say, "Hell yeah." And it's pretty fun, and on busy Saturdays, there will be, like, a whole little community of people camping, and they've become friends now, and they park by each other, and it's a whole thing, and so until it becomes a problem, you're welcome to bring your RV or camper or tent or wall tent or ice fishing igloo. We've had it all in our parking lot, but it's been pretty fun.
Yeah, because I mean that's another way to do it. Like, technically, you can rent those. There's different places to rent, like camper vans or even trucks with
Oh,
campers and
cool.
stuff. So
Yeah,
that could be a different way if somebody wanted to fly in and do that.
totally.
It's basically like there's a Turo for campers, essentially.
Oh,
I think it's
cool.
called Outdoorsy,
Okay.
but
Oh, yeah, I've heard of
people would
that.
have maybe just a pickup truck with a
Right.
camper in the bed or anything, but that could be a different way. I'm thinking of those.
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
say Arkansas was where those guys came from?
Yeah,
Like, even if they
totally.
to do
A
something like
different
that,
adventure.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
you'd be like, you have to have your stuff in order a little bit because you're coming in from out of town,
Right.
but that could be a different
It'd
way to
be
do it
fun.
and
Yeah.
ski for a few days.
Yeah. You get some pretty crazy weather up there, you're camping really in the elements, but
Yeah.
it's fun.
Okay, so and tell me what else you're doing with because you said your personal brand. I know you've got
Yeah.
a woman's group.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if I labeled that right, so tell me what it is
Yeah,
and
no,
tell me
you're
what you do.
good. So I should give the backstory, but in 2024, I believe my mom and I joined this business accelerator cohort type of group that was, to me, seemed wildly expensive. And it was with Gary V. Do you know who
Yep.
he is? Yeah, it was his business course. It was like 5 intense months. And she said, "We're going to join this." And I said, "No way in hell are we doing this." And we joined, and it's absolutely transformed our business. I mean, I have a personal brand now, which I didn't have before, but um, I started working with a social media coach, and she talked about how to talk about Showdown through the lens of my personal brand. And like I said, in that first season, I gained like 40,000 followers and had all those impressions, but it made such a big impact on our business. And it takes my time, which is not nothing,
Yeah.
as you know, as a business owner, but it is so damn worth it. And at the beginning, I start my videos, I'm a Montana mom of two, and our staff used to joke and tease at me, and I would take it, and I love them all. But then they were like, "Well, everyone in our ski lesson was here today because of your videos on TikTok," which I was just so surprised to hear. And it just had a really big impact on our business, like real dollars walking in the door. And so, along with the impact it had on our business, the thing I love about organic social media is it was my time, but that's a lot of impressions for $0.
Yeah.
And you have to do social media right. You have to pay attention, but it can work, and it can work wonders. And I think, especially living in Montana and rural communities, people want and were shocked to see their little ski area that they grew up on TikTok, or that they grew up skiing on TikTok. So people loved seeing that, and it had a real impact on our business. And then in the midst of all of this, I was going through all of this growth personally and in our business. We worked with incredible coaches, incredible speakers. Um, we were going through all this, and I was just connecting all these not little, all these women, cut that part out.
Hmm.
All of these women would shoot me a message and tell me what they were up to in Montana, or a small business they were running, and I was like, all of these women need to know each other. And I want to give that same kind of value, women who are interested in committing to grow in their business, grow professionally. Marketing is my forte, marketing and social media. So any coaching I do is usually tied to that. But I launched a group called Wild Women. It's open to anybody, but we're mostly focused on women in Montana. I've had 3 summits since launching in May of 25. So it's been a little over a year now. We have 125 members. It's just an incredible community, and it's really connecting women in Montana who are building small businesses.
Where do you host these summits?
The summits are hosted. The first one was at the Edith, and
Okay.
then the second 2 have been at Showdown, and our third is coming up in September. We're already a third of the way sold out of tickets, and that'll be at Showdown also.
Okay. So where if anyone's interested in this, where do they go and what should they know
Yeah,
about
you
it?
can go to the website's wildwomenofficial.com, or my Instagram page is Avery from Montana. And I think just the name Wild Women in itself usually attracts the right person.
And what's the layout for this event at Showdown? Is it a single day, multiple
It's
days?
a 2-day event. The first day is a mix of it's just, it's a great summit, a mix of networking and speakers, and then some group activities, and then we'll have dinner at the brewery in White Sulphur Springs Monday night, probably beer and pizza. And then the next day, there's an option for a little hike in the morning, short, easy for everybody. Or if you don't like to hike, you can build a vision board at the lodge, which is also equally awesome. And then a couple more sessions and a great keynote speaker.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
This is so cool that your mom encouraged you to do this and did this with
Yes.
you.
Yes.
And is she pretty involved with all this still?
Yeah, she's the president at Showdown. She's the general manager. She and I are really yin and yang. Um, she has a new program coming out called the Montana Mindset, which has really tried to bottle up and capture how how people feel when they come to Showdown and how that relates to guest services and the training that we do with our staff. And so the Montana Mindset is coming out later this year, part of expanding that year-round revenue. But just we have a really awesome program coming that she has created and been working so hard on, but pretty excited about, just because so many people come to Showdown and they're like, how do I do this in my business? There's just something in the way people feel when they come to Showdown. And so she's really been working hard on how to train people to s- to to implement that in their business, and then also what that does for their bottom line.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
The experience of doing Gary Vee's program and having a personal brand, how have you, I guess, handled that? Because, like, if,
Yeah.
you started with not much from it to now a massive following, has that been a big change for you as far as
It hasn't. It's
Mhm,
been I keep going back to, like, I just show up as myself, and if you like that, great, and it just the people who seem to follow me seem to get that and appreciate that, and if I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay, and it's been a really fun it's I'm blown away with the
yeah,
impact it's had on our business, and as for my life, it now just feels like part of my job, kind of, like, I really enjoy it, which, like we talked about, to have a podcast, you have to really enjoy it,
yeah,
and I've loved connecting with people, it's brought me a lot of joy, I feel like, especially with Wild Women, like, now I have connections all over the state with really, really cool women, and so I can't believe how my network has grown, and it's been a really positive experience for me. I love it.
so would you call yourself an influencer or no?
No,
Okay,
I don't know how to I just post my life and just share what I'm up to, and sometimes I try to be consistent, but I am not, like, I don't have a content calendar. I would love to have one. I would love to have a better plan, but I don't. I've really enjoyed my business coach really encouraged me to write a weekly newsletter of just, like, what's going on in my life, and so now I have over 10,000 people on my weekly newsletter,
oh, wow,
which is pretty awesome, and I was so nervous to write it at first, and now I love it.
yeah.
It's just, like, what's on my mind, I don't overthink it. Sometimes I do plugs for Showdown or plugs for Wild Women or plugs for a book I'm reading, and it's just you get to do whatever you want, and I love that.
Is your business coach associated with Gary Vee's thing, or is
Yeah, so the program sold this part you might have to edit out because I might get a little murky here, but, um, Vive by Vayner, Andrea, who was running it, bought it from Gary Vee, and now she's running it separately,
Mhm,
and Gary Vee still does some coaching calls, like, I was on a coaching call with him, like, a month ago, and then they hooked me up with this coach that I'm now working with, but so it was through that program.
yeah.
Long story short.
I've done I'm just thinking because I think I've only done, like, 2 or 3 newsletters. They're almost, like, quarterly or,
Yeah.
like, every 6 months. I found it to be very therapeutic.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I was so nervous to write the first one, and now I'm just like, "What am I up to today? What do I think people wanna hear?" And, like, if I get one response that somebody said, "Oh, this is what I needed this week," like, it makes my day, and I read them all, and I'm so happy to hear it, and that's just what I focus on, like, maybe what I'm going through this week will help somebody else.
yeah.
I'm 8 months pregnant with our 3rd kid. We're running
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we're running businesses. My husband has a full-time job that he's super passionate about. We're all over the place. We drive all the time. We live on a ranch when we're not at the ski area. We've got a lot going on, and I'm learning a lot, and I'm just trying to share that.
How old are your kids?
5 and 3 and 1 more coming.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, fast times.
How about the ranch? What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, my husband has a full-time job that's not at the ranch, so we are just part-time helpers whenever we can. All weekend was spent gathering up cows and getting them sorted to go up to their summer pasture, but, my husband's family's ranch has run it since the late 1800s. Our kids will be the 6th generation living on this place, and it's pretty special, and I love raising our kids I say I say every year, "We need to go on vacation," and my husband's like, "Our kids' lives are a vacation. They live at a ski area and a ranch," and it's really I love the tradition of it. I think it's so important. I love the kids being around animals, being around agriculture, figuring out where our food comes from. I think all of it's so important, and I just love all the pieces of our big Montana life.
So this ranch has been in did you say your family or your husband's
Husband's
okay,
family's
so
ranch.
did he grow up on it too?
Yep, he
Yeah.
grew up on it.
See, it's funny, I grew up on a farm and I look back and I'm so grateful for it, but I did not think it was a vacation when I was a kid. I
Yeah.
was like, "Why do we always have to work?
Yeah.
How come I can't be normal like my friends that just have a house and don't have
True.
animals to feed and
True.
everything?" Um, I don't know, I guess the results may vary with what your kids say when they're older.
Yeah, that's probably true, but I just think a
Yeah,
river in the backyard, they can go fishing, there's dirt bikes, we have side by sides, horses. I mean, they
yeah.
live a good life.
Yeah, I think we don't realize it as much when we're in it, and then we look back and think,
Yeah.
"How lucky are we
Yeah.
to be in this?"
I love it. I mean, there's pheasants in our yard, there's bears, there's mountain lions, there's wildlife all around us, and I love it.
So, it sounds like this program with Gary Vee that it sounds like you invested a good amount of money to
We
do.
did.
Do you have any advice to anyone who's, like, thinking about doing something like that or getting into
Yeah,
something
it
like
is very scary. Oh, sorry. It is very scary, but get in the room and make the investment. And I think, part of Wild Women, the membership I launched is I charge for it. And I
mm,
think you pay attention to things you pay for. And we paid a lot for this. And you can bet I paid really good attention to everything I was learning and made the most out of it. And I can't recommend it enough. You got to get in the room with people who are a few steps ahead of you. In the same token, I think you should turn around and help people who are trying to get where you're going, and I can't recommend it enough.
and now you're hosting these events, so this is, like,
Yeah,
definitely transformed
100%.
yeah.
Yeah. But even at the event we hosted in February, I started the first one in August. Last August, we had 20 people. Hosted one at Showdown in the fall, we had 40. Hosted one in February, we had 80. And all these women were coming in, and I was like, what in the hell have I done? I can still sneak out the back door. Nobody's seen me yet, but I build really fast, and I don't always think through. I can plan events. I'm on the White Sulphur Springs Rodeo Committee. I don't know anything about rodeo, but I always say I can throw a party. But, I can plan these events, but then when these incredible women start walking in the room, I'm like, who am I to stand up in front of these women and lead them? And it was just a big challenging moment for me to have to stand up and, lead this group. And it ended up being a really incredible experience. But I think that's when the rubber meets the road.
Yeah, I was
And it
gonna say,
was,
you gotta like, you're gonna go get up in front of all these women that
yeah,
showed
lead
up
them for
and
2 days, and it was an incredible experience, and I had a great event planned, but it's just hard when they're actually walking in the door, and then you have to go stand up in front of them. That was just a big moment of when I had a lot of fear that I didn't see coming.
yeah, it's probably a little surreal.
Yeah, it was. It was like, "What have I done?"
How many tickets are you selling for this upcoming one?
I think we'll do 80. We could sell up to 100, so we'll see how we go, but we'll be somewhere between 80 and 100.
Yeah. There's something nice too about when you cap it because, like, if you just make it unlimited
Oh, yeah, we don't have the space to make it unlimited, and 80 was great last year, so I'm hoping to cap it at this year. We have quite a few sponsors who wanna come back and send some more people, so trying to balance that out and just see where we end up.
has this event that you're putting on in this group resulted in a lot of business for Showdown too, you think?
Yeah, they all come back skiing because they
Yeah.
love it, which I love seeing them up there, and it's been one of the most fun things, and it's also, like, women who are now in Missoula who hadn't been to Showdown in 20 years came back and, now they wanna come back with their kids, and so it's been a lot of people also a lot of the women hadn't been to White Sulphur Springs. The night before for our winter event, it was the Super Bowl, and they filled up bar 47, and everybody in town was like, "Who is this group of women that you brought to town?" And so the economy in White Sulphur feels it, and it's a great experience.
That's so cool. What
Yeah,
would
it's
you
really
say to
nice.
yourself from, like, 5 years ago when you, like, took over this position and now where you are? 5 or 6 years ago?
Oh gosh, I don't even know what I would say. Just keep going one step at a time. That's all you can do. One foot in front of the other and take the bold steps. I don't think everybody's interested in sharing their story on social media, and don't do it if it's not fun.
Yeah,
There's other ways to do it, but for me, it's worked really well. I think it's a really incredible tool, for with no budget, you can just reach so many people. And so I'm obviously a really big proponent of that. And I want women and men, but that's just what I focused on in this group. But I just want women to run their mouths about what they're doing in their businesses and in their lives and know that it could help somebody else and they can reach people who are interested in their businesses.
that's so cool. I say that as I asked if you call yourself an influencer, because I wonder if that's exhausting, the thought of having a personal brand,
Yeah.
but I also put out a podcast twice a week,
Yeah.
but it's not at all exhausting because I'm
Yeah.
having conversations and I'm not doing most of the talking anyway,
Yeah.
so
Well, and I found a funny thing, like, like I mentioned, I don't have a content calendar, I just fly by the seat of my pants, which is kinda how I do everything, but in December, a friend challenged me, and she's like, "Let's post every day in December." And I was like, "I'm opening a ski area, my kids have birthdays in December," which is also a terrible time to have kids if you're running a ski area. So I'm opening a ski area, kids' birthdays, planning holidays, and my friend challenges me, and I'm like, "I'm gonna go for it." And it actually became so easy to post when you're doing it every day because it was just like,
brushing your teeth.
oh, yeah, it was just part of my routine. I made it really fun. I didn't overthink it. So I kind of I go both ways. Like, don't post every day, only post if you feel like it. But when I did post every day, it was actually way more fun, way more casual. Had a great reach. My
Yeah.
insights or whatever didn't suffer.
I was
So
gonna ask if you scheduled them for the month or if you actually, like, did
no,
it every day.
I am not that prepared. I was just every day.
Yeah.
Like one day I hid in a trash can and scared one of our employees or a trash bag. Like I just have fun with it and turns out I was pregnant at the time, but I did training for the chairlift for evacuating, and it was evacuated from the chairlift, and so did a video about that. But I just very much share what's happening in the moment, and yeah, I'm trying to. I have somebody who's coming on to help me with social media over the next couple months when I have this baby, and we'll have to have a plan. And I don't know how that's going to go, but I
Yeah.
I like her and I trust her, and I know my voice and I think she does too, so we'll see how it goes, but it'll be funny to have a plan.
So, I'm backing up, you said you grew up in
Great Falls.
Great Falls.
Yep.
Okay, and then but did you spend a lot of your years at Showdown?
Yeah, I skied most every weekend in high school and a lot of weekends in college skiing at Showdown.
Where'd you go to and you said you went to,
Carroll
Helena?
College.
Okay,
Yep, in
yeah.
Helena.
And when did you say your family bought it?
Yeah, so my grandpa ran it for 47 years. I came in 2012
Yeah,
and started making coffees and then moved up to guest services and ran guest services at the ski area for 4 or 5 years. And then moved into the marketing director position. And then in 2018, my mom came back. She was working for a tech company over in London and Romania. She came back and started working as general manager. And then in 2020, might have been 2019, somebody from out of state came with a big check and put it on my grandpa's desk. And we knew we needed to get serious about buying it or it was going to be gone from our family. So my mom and my husband and I put a deal together and bought it from my grandpa. And then my brothers are also shareholders.
very cool.
Yeah.
You kinda you've knocked it out of the park on marketing if that's the position you took with what you're doing
Yeah.
now. You should be teaching clinics on how to
I
do
know. Well,
this.
that's what I tried to do in Wild Women. And
Yeah,
I studied. My mom always gives me grief and said, "Oh, you're using that nice private education at the ski area where you probably didn't need to go to school." But I think, learning history and writing and storytelling is really what I've done at Showdown and what has obviously worked. And it turns out I love marketing and like I said, never saw myself in marketing or as a business owner. And then once I started, I've launched my own business and we have these spin-offs coming and I love it.
yeah, it almost now I'm back to where I was when I started with
You're good.
what you could do in the summer, but I'm like, I wonder what you could do with this business you started in the summer, but
Yeah.
you are hosting these events here.
Yeah, I do events, and if I wasn't having a baby this summer, maybe I'd try to do something up there, but bandwidth is just limited, and I pour a lot into these events, so I think 2 a year is about what I'd be able to handle, but we'll see.
Yeah,
We did expand to local meetups where ambassadors in towns are gonna start hosting local meetups, and so we'll have those across Montana for wild women, which is awesome.
Did you say is there women outside of Montana?
Yeah, we have Vermont, Florida, Texas,
And
kind
they
of
fly in for the event?
a lady from Oklahoma flew in, New York, Texas. I was so surprised. But yeah, most were from Montana, and then some did fly in for the event.
Very
And
cool.
some have tickets booked for the fall.
And then, do you know how far the reach is in Montana? Is there business owners all over the state?
Yeah, all over the state. We have Billings, Kalispell, Missoula, all the big towns. And then like Highline, Shelby, Havre.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll do anything that people don't like anything so they could be involved if they can't get to Montana?
What do you mean?
Like something remote or some sort of like
Oh, yeah, as part of the bulk of the membership is, it's an online community,
okay,
and we do 2 online calls a month,
okay.
and so one is where I have an outside expert come in. A lot of them I've met through that cohort I did, or I've read their book or they've influenced me in some way, and so I bring their expertise into the community and they lead a call. And then the other one is called In the Arena, and I lead on marketing, a marketing trend I'm seeing, social media tips, or a hot seat where a woman gets to talk to the group about, so somewhere she wants to grow in her business or personal life, and then everybody popcorns in, and it's so fun, and I always get something out of these calls. And I think, the woman in the hot seat gets a lot, but everybody else usually leaves with some good ideas. And I think especially in Montana, so many people are building in rural locations and don't have access to those kind of summits, masterminds, those kind of things. And so just trying to bring that to Montana.
There's a local business mastermind here that they meet weekly and they do that. That's the model every week is someone takes the hot seat.
So cool.
There's a lot I get a lot out of it when I'm not in the hot seat.
Totally. That's what I'm surprised about.
I was telling someone last weekend, every time I've given any advice to the person in the hot seat, I find myself after saying, "I
Oh,
think I just gave the advice
I need
I
to do
needed to
that.
hear."
Yeah,
It's
totally.
it's so easy to tell someone else to do something and
Hmm.
then it'll just hit me and I'm like, "Why don't I
Yeah,
listen to half of the things I say?"
totally. No, it's so real. And that happens on, I feel like, all of our calls.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanna share with the world?
Are we done?
No, I mean, we don't
Oh,
have to be. I
um,
just
uh, we should talk more about Showdown,
well, I wanted to
probably.
ask you, is there is there, like, one book or any books you think of for, for people in business that sticks out to you that, like, that's your favorite book
Mm.
you recommend?
I do think Day Trading Attention with Gary Vee was a big one for me, just helping me understand, um, the power of social media. So that one stands out. Um, I can't think of the names of the other ones.
Yeah, you're reminding me of my friend Jim, and he was the only one that's done a remote podcast on here because he's on the other side of the country, but he's got a small farm business, and he's gotten very, very popular on social media,
Cool.
and I think he does very similar to what you're doing.
Yeah.
He's doing some education on farm animals and
Mhm.
stuff, but it's very much like I worked for him years ago, and
Yeah.
it's just like it was then. Just he's just kinda showing what's going on the farm.
Yeah.
Here's some information about this, and then
Mhm.
people are flocking from all over the country
Yeah.
to go check out this experience.
Yeah. We are shocked at the people who come to Showdown. We just never ever thought we would see those people. And the funny part is, I'm sitting up there at the table with my grandpa and my mom most mornings having breakfast, and people walk in and they're like, "We came from California." We're like, "Well, we're right here. Welcome." We're the ones greeting people for the most part. We're there most every day. And I think people are always so surprised to see us. I'm like, no, this is our life. This is our business. This is what we love to do. And we're here for it.
Yeah, that one of my biggest hopes and intentions with this podcast is you can listen to this episode, someone could listen to this episode, and then they could go to Showdown and see you.
Yeah. Love
And,
that.
like, locally here in Bozeman, someone could talk to someone or could listen to their podcast and then go see their product in the store
Mhm.
or maybe run into the person at the
Yeah.
store, and there's
It's
that
so real.
that's what I love and cherish about Montana is those that sense of connection and community
Yeah.
and like, the whole grand plan with this is to help cultivate that and
Well,
just make that more of an experience for people.
people are building real businesses in our cities that serve our people.
Yeah.
It's not just running a business that's operating in towns all over. They're the ones boots on the ground, which I think is like the coolest part.
Yeah, it's so cool when you, like, find out or hear who that business owner is.
Yeah.
Even like you take time out of your day to come here,
Oh, hell
and then
yeah.
people can go in there and see you and see your
Yeah.
family, and it's like, "That's Avery."
Yeah.
Like, I literally just
Yeah.
heard her tell her story, and I see her stuff on social
Yeah.
media.
The first person who asked to take a picture with me, I was like, "Oh, I'm not actually that cool.
Yeah.
I'm just
You're
here doing
famous.
I'm just here doing my thing." Like it just happened to work.
That's so cool.
So,
So what else about Showdown? What do what do only the locals know about Showdown?
hmm,
What's a secret that you'd
I
only
don't know
know
if
if
there
you're
are many secrets. I think you get the vibes as soon as you get there, and people will end up having beers in the bar with the locals. It's a pretty good spot. The $35 tickets on Thursdays is pretty awesome. Most of the season we're closed Monday, Tuesdays, so Wednesdays can be good powder Wednesdays if we're having a good season. We'll have some untracked snow Monday and Tuesday, so Wednesday can have a big pile up of snow, which is awesome. Um, the thing that was so fun to see this year is, the whole state had a rough snow year, but the couple days, and we were down on skier visits, but the couple days that we did get big storms, people showed up. So it just made me feel like people know we're here. They're waiting for the storms. This year it was so hard we could have the best snow. We had pretty good snow all season, but it's really hard to convince people to come skiing when it's 60 degrees in town.
yeah.
That was the challenge we had this year. And so you can really focus on that beginner skier, but beginners aren't really thinking about skiing if there's not snow in town. So it really matters, what the weather's doing in the towns as well as up on the mountain.
It was such a weird winter.
It was.
You just kept thinking the shoe was gonna drop,
Yeah,
and then it just never
it
did.
never did. No.
So, I'm glad
Yeah.
you guys still had good snow, all
Yeah,
things considered.
we were very lucky.
What are the standard prices, other than the Thursday price?
Our lift ticket is 75 this year.
Okay.
We have like show up cards that launched today, like a 3-pack for 150, or 160, so you can get a little over a $50 lift ticket. Then we usually have a Black Friday special. Um, and yeah,
And people can buy the, season passes on the
those
Black
you
Friday special?
the season passes, that 350 deal was only March 1st.
Okay.
So prices kind of go up from there, and we just kind of have a tiered pricing increase. But yeah, people have been skiing at Showdown for a long time. I love history, of course. So one of the cool things about Showdown is it opened in 1936, and a lot of ski areas had to close during World War II because all the men went away to war,
Mhm.
and Showdown was able to stay open. Um, and I just think Showdown plays a really important part in the skiing community in Montana.
Yeah, that's so cool. Um, well, yeah, where can people go to find out more about Showdown? What's the handle to find you?
Mine is Avery from Montana on Instagram. Showdown's website is showdownmontana.com, or Showdown Montana on Instagram, Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the best place to find out more information about how about the women's group?
That's probably on my page, the Avery from Montana,
Okay,
or on Instagram, it's Wild Women Official. But
cool.
yeah,
Anything else anyone should know about you, your family? Showdown?
I don't think so. It's pretty fun to work with your family. It's definitely, it's definitely has its own challenges, but
Mhm.
we're all working towards a really common goal, which is a really cool goal. And so it's easy to rally behind that. We just have to remember that we're all working towards the same thing.
I'm glad I remembered because I don't always remember to ask this, but is there anything you guys are looking for as a business, as far as employees or on the resort or anything at all?
We always say, we can teach you how to ski, but we can't teach the personality, so we're not looking for expert skiers. We're looking for people who want to make a good experience for people who come to Showdown, and who can smile, and who can be good at customer service. And, that's what we really focus on.
Where do people that are employed with you guys primarily live? to
Great Falls and White Sulphur.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a couple housing options available in White Sulphur, and then we offer free employee shuttles from Great Falls and White Sulphur.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So it could be a lot of opportunity
Yeah.
for a lot of different people.
Yeah, we try to make it work for people.
Cool. Well, I appreciate your time. It was
Cool.
great to meet you.
Thank you. Great to meet you
Congratulations on
too.
the new
Thank
member of the
you.
family.
Yes, thank you.
Cool. We'll talk again soon.
Sounds good.
Thanks for listening, folks. You can find the full blog post for every episode, along with key takeaways and links at mountain-mule.com. If you haven't yet, consider following the show. That one small action helps these Montana businesses get seen, grow, and thrive, and it helps this podcast keep going too. If you know a business that would be a good fit for the show, we'd love to hear from you. Just reach out through the website or social. Thank you for supporting these Montana businesses. See you on the next show.